Hello, friend. Today is the throat center, and this will wrap up all 9 centers, like just a quick glance at them all. So the throat center is really about communication and action. It is our manifestation and our expression center. So the throat center is actually associated with the thyroid and the parathyroid glands, and these are the endocrine glands that are responsible for our metamorphosis and our transformation. So, it really is the indicator on how to use our energy, how quickly we're going to use it, how fast we're going to burn it, whatever that is. So manifestation happens through communication and deliberate action. Manifestation does not happen because we have a thought. Manifestation happens when we're able to process that through our strategy and authority, and then manifest either on our own or through co-creation. So all roads lead to Rome, and all energy is moving to the throat to be expressed. The entire body graph, that's where everything is going, is to the throat center. So when you have active gates, this is the voice that you have, unless it's totally open, and we'll chat about that when we get there. But here's something really fun to pay attention to as well, is pure manifesting generators who have the channel of charisma, which is gate 34 connected up to 20, 34 of the sacral center, connected up to the 20 in the throat. In Ra's experience, and something that I've also witnessed with my clients, is the thyroid gland becomes overtaxed in these particular people. First, because they want to initiate instead of waiting to respond and then manifesting when the timing is correct for them. And or people that are suppressing their manifestations, which is really fascinating. I also, I know manifestors that have massive thyroid issues, and that is a suppression of the manifestation. The throat wants to manifest. The throat wants to communicate. The throat wants to take action. And the only way to do that, of course, is through strategy and authority, when it is healthy to do so, when the strategy and authority has moved you into that action, or all of a sudden there's this co-creation with someone and this manifestation can happen. But the throat center wants to take action. We came here to have experiences. The throat wants to have experiences. So in a defined center, oops. Going to move my... So with the defined center, it's reliable. It's a fixed way for you to communicate, okay? And it's a hub for messages coming from all parts of the body, not just the mind. We always think that when we speak, we're talking from our minds. In my body graph, and I'll show you that at the end, or actually I'll show it to you right now. So I have the sacral directly connected to the throat in an unconscious way. I also have the ego center connected to the throat in an unconscious way. When I am speaking, it's coming from the body, and it's completely unconscious for me. And what's really funny is I have witnessed this 3420. I don't know if I cut people off, but lots of times I finish their sentences because it is completely in the consciousness field. It is unconscious for me. I have absolutely no conscious knowing of what is going to come out of my throat. And as for trying to speak my mind, well, as you can see here, there's no direct connection to my mind. So if I'm not relying on my body and that unconsciousness, oh man, my communication can get really, really jumbled up and very distorted. So here's a few, like, here's the ways that the throat center speaks. And look at how crazy this is, right? Like, look at how many gates are in the throat center. It has the most amount of gates. 11. So there's 11 ways to communicate, 11 ways to act. So the 23 is I know. The 8 is I can. The 20 is I am now. And that's, you know, that's a part of, that's what I have, is that 20th gate. I also had the 8th gate. I had the 45th as well, and the 56th. But that 20th gate is really like, it's right now. It's right now. It's right now. It's right now. If I'm trying to think about it, ooh, that mental pressure gets so crazy. And I use the word crazy, but it just, there's so much there, and then things are distorted. So 16 is all about I experiment or identify. 35 is I feel. 45 is I have. The 12 is I act. The 62 is I think. The 56 is I believe. The 31 is I lead. And the 33rd is I remember. And no, we're not going to get deep into these, but it's interesting to see what those voices are. And when you're ready to jump into your design, we can discuss that. So undefined. So what the undefined throat center, the open throat center, is trying to do is actually it's trying to attract attention. It's afraid it won't be noticed. So there's this amplified pressure, even though this isn't a pressure center. You know, you're in a pressure sandwich from the top, the head center, and the root is at the bottom. So, you know, that's either a fuel center or a pressure center. So, you know, there's this amplified pressure to talk and make noise because the throat's wanting to gain attention and attract attention. So most of the time, it's the people with the undefined throats that are not able to be comfortable with silence. You could have a bunch of defined throat centers in there as long as they're healthy, as long as they are you know, in their experiment of human design, understand it, and really are living in that experiment. They don't need to talk. Yeah, they're built to communicate, but there's no pressure there to break the silence. And people with undefined or open throats, oh man, there is such a ginormous pressure to break the silence. And just know that's not necessary. You'll be asked or invited or initiated into a conversation. So they can spend a whole ton of mental pressure trying to figure out what they're going to say before they say it. And somebody that has a completely open throat center like this, most likely there's going to be a gate that's pointing towards it. So there'll be a gate in the ajna center or in the identity center or in the ego center or the solar plex or the splenic center. There'll most likely be a gate pointing there. I've never seen it where there isn't. And that is going to be where the most pressure is for you to use that vernacular and speak that way. But what I have witnessed is when they have a completely open, throat center, is if this is you and you're immersed with a particular group of people and they have a particular vernacular, what I notice is that when that person then goes to their, say another group of people, or they move away from that, they still use that vernacular. So they have no consistent, constant way to express themselves. So it's almost, it is conditioning, yet it's just the way it is. And it's just to see it and be aware of it and go, oh yeah, geez, I'm still using the way they talk to express myself. And it's not good or bad. Just know that it happens, just because that's how it is. So if anything in human design intrigues you, I would love to have a conversation. We can see if there's a coaching package that you would like to jump into. Again, all my coaching packages, they're online, but they're all malleable for everybody's different places in life, and I can definitely meet you where you're at, and meet your energy where it's at and walk you through this. So thank you again for listening, and have a terrific day.